Really quickly before the video begins, I have my own energy drink, the MTash Mango Splash, and it's incredible. And if you use code MTash30 right now at advanced.gg, you can get 30% off. If you've never tried Advanced, this stuff is way better than G Fuel, and to get it 30% off, this is a no-brainer. Links are down below. Hey everyone, MTash here, and today I wanted to make a guide on the new boss, Azhdaha. It's a very tough fight overall, and if you're on mobile, I can imagine you're dying a little bit more than you would like. Now, depending where you are in the game and the characters you have, this fight can be really easy, where you can just kind of face tank it like I can, or if you don't have Zhang Li or a really cracked shield character, this fight is insanely tough and can actually get you killed more than pretty much any boss in the game in my opinion. He has multiple huge area of effect attacks, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're really going to have a bad time. So today what we're going to do is look at the different attacks that he has, the different attack patterns, as well as the debuff which is currently applied to my character, and how that is going to hurt you if you're not careful. Now, overall, I think that this boss is pretty fair. I think he does kind of showcase which attacks he's going to use, and it's easy to dodge that because of it. But, boys, he can really punish you if you don't know what you're doing. So let's get started with a few of those attacks and how to beat Azhdaha real easy. So the first phase is all geo damage, and luckily it doesn't apply any of the elemental debuffs that Azhdaha can normally apply. This means that this phase is quite a bit easier, and you're not going to take as much damage, even if you get hit directly by these attacks, which is a good thing. I mean, it's still going to hurt, but it's not going to place the passive damage over time that the other phases will. Doesn't matter which attack hits you, you're not going to be hit by it. Now, the boss is going to be raining down meteors, which you need to focus on dodging, and he's also going to be roaming around the map trying to murder you. My recommendation is simply dodge, stay as far away as possible, and when he makes his way back into the middle, you can go in for a damage phase. Now, during the damage phase and when you get up close and personal, this boss is actually very good at reading if you're at the front or the back. So if you're at the back of it, it will do tail sweeps and different attacks. If you're at the front, it will do frontal attacks. So my recommendation is rotating from the front to the back, to the front to the back. And I just kind of stay on one of the sides and I go for the front feet and the head and then back towards the tail. And typically you can get him into a bit of a rotation where he's doing frontal attacks like this one, or you're at the back and he's doing a tail sweep or slam. So rotating can keep you relatively safe, but a lot of his attacks do have pretty big area of effect and you're probably going to get tagged here and there. During this first phase, it's not the biggest issue, but in the second and third phase, getting the elemental debuff applied to you by getting hit is going to make this fight much, much harder. Now, he has one more attack that can absolutely destroy you, and he typically does it after doing his voice line. Regardless if you're in the first, second, or third phase, Azhdaha has an earthquake attack that he delivers directly after giving his voice line. Now, there is a bit of wind up here, and you're going to be able to dodge it if you know it's coming, but make sure to listen for when he's talking or if he's absorbing power. Listen closely.
The enraged earth will not absolve you!
Why do they never miss?
Now, that attack will typically kill any character in the game unless you're shielded or have a crazy amount of defenses and HP. It is a very powerful attack with multiple stages, and if you're getting hit by it, you can typically dodge a few of them and run out, but if you try to face tank that, you're going to have a tough time. It is much better to avoid it. Now, you might have noticed I ran into a bubble. We need to talk about it. In the second and third phase, getting hit by any of his elemental attacks will apply a debuff. Not only is it going to hit hard, but it's going to be a big damage over time, doing thousands of damage every second. And there's no way to cleanse this with any of the abilities in the game. However, you can fully dodge it if you're using a shielded character. Getting hit with the elemental attacks will not cause the debuff to happen as long as you have a shield regardless of the element. So you could use Diona, you can use Noelle, you could use Zhang Li. It doesn't really matter as long as you're using a shield, you'll completely negate this debuff. And that's important because it hits very, very hard. If you have this debuff, it will apply to all characters in the party, and it will kill them very, very quickly, even if you've got some healing coming in. This can punish the hell out of you because it does like 1,000 damage per second. Like, it is very, very fast, and it lasts a pretty long time. And you can't get rid of it. You cannot cleanse it like other characters. I don't have Jean to test. Maybe Jean can cleanse it, but for the most part, if you get hit with it, you're going to be crying. So just dodge it altogether. Now, after you get him down into like the 40%, 30% range, he's going to go into his Electro Phase, which can be very hard as well. Remember, going into the Electro Phase, he's going to start doing some slamming attacks, so get the hell out of there or you're going to die. Oh my god, I'm falling apart here, boys! Now, I'm not going to lie, Electric Azhdaha is pretty tough. It is pretty annoying. He's going to go under the ground and stick his tail up out of it. Okay, and then he's going to summon lightning all over the map. Now, he's going to be cutting this arena into little subsections like a piece of pie. What you're going to do is stand in the sections that aren't electrified so that you don't take damage. Now, in the case of this, I am standing in them to showcase me taking damage, but this is a piece of the pie you don't want to be in. My recommendation is you can actually get pretty close to him and do some damage to him. You can kind of run in, do a little damage, and get out, back to safety. But if you're on the outskirts, there are situations where you can't escape unless you are close to him and can run all the way to the other side, so you need to be very careful here. I would recommend being closer rather than far away. That way, if the pieces of the pie are all the way on the other side, you only have to go a short distance to get there. If you're on the outskirts, you literally might not be able to make it in time, and you're just going to eat free damage. And if you don't have a shield, well, then you're dead. Like, there's just nothing to it. You're dead. Like, in this situation here, I'm just eating damage. I'm having a hard time dodging here. I can see where I need to go, but you don't have a lot of time to react. So a shield character is going to be imperative to your success. But as long as you're not in those electrified areas, you are safe. Even though there are a lot of particle effects going on, even though it looks like you're going to take damage, if you're not standing in there, you are safe. Now, if you thought you were done dodging because you dodged a few little lightning strikes, you're just getting started. Azhdaha has a sweeping tail attack that sends out balls of electricity all over the map, which you're going to need to dodge, and they're kind of random. They move around, seemingly random, and they can be really frustrating if you get unlucky with their spawns. But he's not done yet. He's also going to summon a bunch of them, almost like the Electro Hypostasis would do, which is going to send these balls flying at you, and you're going to need to dodge, and then he's going to send out missiles with the biggest AoE I've ever seen. What is the AoE on this? It is so hard to dodge. I'm raging here. And every time you get hit, if you're not shielded, you're going to get debuffed. Now, he could go back to his water phase. He can also summon those water projectiles that are going to cannon down just like the Electro ones. And so once you get into this third phase, he's just tough. He's just hard, period. There are multiple attacks that can hit you. You're going to see he's got these slams. But now, after I heal, right after I heal, he's got the balls going around, and he can summon some torpedoes to hit you. So this boss is nothing to sneeze at. If you get tagged, if you get these debuffs, you're going to die. Like, it's just as simple as that. I would highly recommend you try to put him down as fast as you can. Use all of your elemental bursts, or you're going to wipe. Now, as for teams, obviously, if you're like the sweatiest, whale, you probably can make whatever team work. But if you're the average player, I have a few recommendations. Number one is bring a shield character. I think I've said it 10 times, but it is super valuable. Number two is I would honestly recommend bringing some other healing if possible, because you can really get snowballed on here and take a lot of damage, and things can fall apart quick if you can't heal. But for the most part, you do want some good elemental reactions, whether it's vaporize or melt, or just some way of doing a bunch of damage, because this boss, the sooner you put him down, the less risk you're at. Honestly, offense is a defense, if you know what I mean. If you can kill him before he kills you, that is a benefit. Now let's go over a couple of characters that I think are really good. Alright, obviously just use all the 5 stars. You got a 5-star, use them. No. I want to make a couple of recommendations. I think Ganyu's kind of fire because you can kind of shoot at a distance and keep it safe, and you can really focus on dodging, obviously, but let's talk about more accessible stuff. Diona. She's on the current banner, and starting Friday, there's going to be an event to get her for free. If you have the sacrificial bow on her, she can pretty much keep 100% uptime on her shields, which means you don't have to worry about the debuff, which is amazing. I think Diona is going to be fantastic here. Now, another character that I would highly recommend, if you have them, I mean, most people know by now, Bennett. He's such a good healer. He can boost your damage. Bennett is insanity. And because he can heal so quickly, the boss can't kill you. In a lot of cases, if you have your ultimate, Bennett is amazing. But I want to shout out, I know, it's Barbara. Listen, whether it's Barbara or it's Jean, these characters are actually pretty good because they've got area of effect burst healing for your entire party. And if your characters are taking the damage over time, if they're getting tagged, a burst heal like that can be really, really valuable. And honestly, if you do get punished and you do die, maybe you've got C6 Barbara. You know, it's been a long time. Some of you might have C6 Barbara. She can bring them back to life, which is pretty darn good. But honestly, if you do have a crack team of like, Ganyu and D-Luke and you're doing a bunch of damage, maybe you can kill the boss before you have to worry about all this. I don't know where your account's at. But another one is Zhang Li. Again, I know not everyone has him, but he is on the current banner. And if you got lucky, he's going to carry you in, he's going to carry you in everything because he's kind of busted. But I think Diona is one of the biggest shoutouts here. Bennett is really good, but honestly, even just having some other healing is really, really good. If you want to use Xin Yan can provide some shields. There's multiple ways to get around this. Noelle is on the current banner, and she can shield. So you have to use what you're using, but I think that these two characters are like stand out, absolutely incredible, and then you can build around them for damage and other things you might need. If you had both of them on a team, you're set. You can use whatever other characters you want. I'd be surprised if you lost. But I just wanted to give those ones a little bit of a shout out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, and check out MTash Mango Splash. It's 30% off. It's a no-brainer. Go. Click the link down below and use MTash30 for 30% off.